Good morning, everybody. Or Thursday afternoon, actually. It's time to have a quick look at the Corfield Cup, but more importantly, I'm going to show you something extremely interesting, and it's something else. Okay, let's start by seeing where we are. And we're going to first of all look at the Corfield Cup market moves Thursday to date. So gold trip is $6 into $5. There's some of the bigger bets that have been placed this morning. Solcombe is $6.50 into $6, so we're going to end up with roughly equal favourites. Without a fight, $8.50 into $7.50, and breaker in $11 into $8.50. Now, let's have a look at the GTX WINFORM program, and you'll see there that I probably disagree with most of those, but certainly I'd have a lot of things to do yet. For example, Gold Trip has a 20-point penalty because it's had a bit of a break and basically is virtually second up. But I can get rid of that penalty, which will put it up much higher. Without a fight is the same. It's had a bit of a let up. So the 20-point penalty there is for lack of fitness, but it's done well without that. Breakup's another interesting one. It's also got a penalty on it. Okay, so those are over 2,400, and we've got overseas horses running there, and we've got some local horses recording some brilliant times. But can I back Spirit Ridge, which is a 9-year-old? That's one of the questions. And we can see there that basically it's not like it's an overseas horse, I wouldn't think. Sits in his last 16 starts, is really a local now and is a straight out leader, and the time they ran in that race at Randwick on the 30th of September was absolutely sensational. And as we say, it might have finished second, but nevertheless, 9-year-olds are not my bag, even 7-year-olds to be honest. And it's never been the world's greatest race, even though I've backed 50-1 winners in it, 26-1 winners in it. It is one of the hardest staying races of the year because quite often you end up the horse that is the best chance in it, which might be Solcombe, you never know. You're not rewarded with a great amount of money. Anyway, not to worry, that's not what I wanted to talk to you about. So just going back to our thing there, I'll just tell you what I do. So as you're probably well and truly aware, I do a lot of research to come up with my selection plans, and they're all based on the GTX WINFORM program, so anyone who has it can easily come up with the same results that I do. And the thing is, you can do the selections at your convenience when you want to, provided it's before the races start, of course. So just to give you a brief run through. So I've been researching past plans I've tried, and sometimes they fall by the wayside because the racing rules change, the weights of the horses in those races change based on where they're trained, where they race from, etc., etc. So as I say, I've tried stacking them up based on the latest racing rules and weights changes. Plus, now that the whip rules have been in for some time, the film is more right, if you know what I mean. So, in other words, they're basically sort of expected to try, but without too much influence of the whip. So, in other words, you're not getting horses that are winning only because they were getting flogged. That's very important. Now, I can show you now that the first system, it's based on maiden races. Now, some people say, well, first thing they say to me is, well, I know what races I'm not going to bet in, and that's maiden races. And I say, why is that? And they say, well, because they're all a pack of duds. Problem is, about 50% of our races are maiden races. And, of course, the horses that win those races are not duds. So that's an important thing to note. So I don't get a massive amount of selections in these. I do have a couple of basic rules. I don't like to bet on the heavy tracks. And, of course, I don't like to bet on horses that have had heaps of starts and so on. So there are a number of rules in there to get us to the cream of things. And I also don't like to bet those races when they've got a lot of first starters in it, because that just increases the amount of unknowns. So things like, how many starters in the race, You know, did we only look at races from 5 or 6 runners up to about somewhere between 12 and 14? Do we only look at front runners and all that sort of thing? So anyway, once I've do this, that particular one, this is the result. Strike rate of 42% and a profit best total of 14%, which would be even better on VicBet's best of the best. The WINFORM speed runners, which are all country horses, they win 29% of the time and make a 13% profit. Once again, you could get more money by using best of the best, which also incorporates top fluctuation. And now there's another plan which focuses on early races in the day. So what normally happens is as the race day gets on, the better class races and the bigger fields are at the end of the day. Now they're framed there basically so that the tab and so on can get more turnover. The more you turn over, the more profits they're getting out of you. So sticking to the earlier races, the first 5 races actually, we've accomplished a 50% win rate. That's 50%, and still maintain a profit of just under 12.5%, plus more if you're betting on best of the best, which, if you bear that in mind, using the best with BigBet.com will earn you about 5% more on average. Anyway, so how much profit do you think that you would have made over the past 21, 22 and 23 years to date? Because there are only around 500 selections a year, it is $22,480 if you spent $100 per selection on average. And of course, the other thing, it's rare for any of the 3 plans above to have the same selection, which is a bonus in itself, because you know you can see lots and lots of selection plans, and then you'll see lots and lots of the same horse coming up, and it's selected by 3 or 4 plans all at once. So you think to yourself, what do I do? Do I back it 3 or 4 times, or do I only back it 1 time when it looks like it's a really good thing? Well, those really, really good things have got 2 disadvantages. One, they're usually very, very short priced. And the other disadvantage is if they lose and you've got multiple units on it, that's an absolute disaster. Anyway, so what I was going to tell you about, what is my process? How do I analyse these races and come up with something that, well, you know what you've done, you've researched stuff, you've had a look and yeah, these are winning, blah, blah, blah. And then when you put your money on, your actual money, then guess what? You suddenly find they're losing. Well, that doesn't happen if you do it the right way. So my process is I check the past 6 months for any of my plans once I've altered the rules. Then next I go back a couple of years, take a random 6 months of results and see if over that time it's still been profitable. And then if it is, the final test is real time. I check this through a live period of several months, putting my money on. If it's still winning, then I add them more or less as a permanent addition to my daily group of selections. So with all 3 plans getting about 500 selections a year in total, average win rate is 40%. That's where I'm up to now. So as I said, you've got the result there, 22,500, 40% win rate, and the average dividend therefore works out around $3 plus. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to attack my database, and I've got that up here. You won't be able to see much while it's running. I'm just going to list these by the starting price rank, whether they're favourites or not. And I'm running this for the period from the 1st of January 21 to the 30th of September 23. Oh, there we go. It doesn't think I'm ready. Well, I am. So I've just got to go down here and I click on the daily bet group and I click on run, and this will quickly go through in a matter of minutes. So without giving too much away, in the early races, we're only looking at the first 5 races. We want to limit those to races where the first starters are no more than 2. And we want a field size of 5 to 14. And we do not include races on heavy tracks. A fairly simple guideline, actually. And then this is the weird thing. It's really easy. You look at the tab number between 0 and 2, so it's horses number 1 or 2. So it's a handicap race. Obviously, horses 1 and 2 are going to be at the top of the handicaps if not equal. Then we look at the last run, and it also has to have run first or second at its previous start. And a couple of things in here. We've got a couple of rating ideas here on the GTX program. Is the GTX is the expected favourite, so that gets put in. The WINFORM, our top-rated WINFORM horse. We take something from the Q rate, which is available every day on the WINFORM plan. And as you can see here, it's gone through now. It's only taken 2 or 3 minutes. Our longest losing run over that 3-year period nearly is 14. And you can see here that when we're talking about the starting price rank, actually 52% of the runners were favourite, 27% were second favourite, 19% third favourite, and so on. So in actual fact down here, virtually all of them. I mean, we can't do this because it's no good saying let's only pick, say, only back the favourite, or only back this one, or only back that one. This just shows you the diversity of it. And so we've got, as I said, $22,500 there, and we've got 600 races, which is around probably a little bit under $3, but nevertheless a guaranteed profit. And you can see the range of winners that we've had recently there. It hasn't been a great period, but we've got a $6.80 and a $6.60 winner there. And then if we look further back, you can see some short price ones, some around $3. There's a $7. There's a $9 there in that lot, $5, $4, and so on. So you see quite a variety, but you're not relying on, say, 100 to 1 long shot getting up to show you that you're going to make a profit. So it's easily enough to get hold of the WINFORMGTX program, and all you've got to do is get in touch with us. I'll write my email address down here. I'll put it in capital letters so that you can see it clearly. So that's Gary, Garry.Robinson@y7mail.com. So the first instance, you can email me, all lowercase of course, and simply let me know your best, most accessible phone number and when you would like to get a call, and I'll give you a ring back and I'll give you any more information you want. Now, just for a bit of detail, the first 3 months with the GTX program with WINFORM is $895. It's a very good deal. So it includes the program, how to set the program up, all of that sort of thing, and show you how to put the rules in for the various selections methods. And also then after the 3 months it reverts to $195 a month. You can set the program up however you want. You can download the scratchings and everything else and press the button and hey presto, out come the selections. And then all you got to do is go and put your money on. So there was just one bet yesterday. It won the first race at Ipswich and ended up starting at $2.90. So there it is. Good luck everyone, and thanks for watching.